Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 23 of Geeks Who Like Sports. That's right, folks. We are 23 episodes deep, and we're just getting stronger, and we're getting better, and we're getting faster, and other adjectives, but it's fantastic. As always, I am Ray Carcillo, my best buddy in Philadelphia, Lee Elias. Lee, how are you doing today?
Ray, very energetic here on our Michael Jordan 23 episode and LeBron James, depending on the year.
Yes.
Okay. I'm here with a mug today, Ray. Got Star Wars Cantina. It says Death Star Canteen. It's got Boba Fett, and it says, "He's no good to me dead," which two quarterbacks in the NFL are as good as dead for this season. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the episode, but I'm very excited to be here with you today. As you said, growing every week. Thank you to all of you listening once again for helping this podcast grow. You are making us have a very big career. We are making millions and millions. We're not making anything, Ray. We're not making a thing.
Yeah.
But we're having fun doing it, so we're going to keep doing it.
Yes. One day maybe we'll make lots of money, and then we can go to all the PAXs there are and all the PAXs the people want.
Star Wars. Star Wars
World. Oh yeah, and yes, and you can come to LA finally and see Star Wars Land.
Disney. See Star Wars Land, Disney World. Yes.
So yes, that should be fantastic as always. But yes, we've got a great show for you, folks. We've got lots of sports to talk about. Obviously, it's football season. Week 2 is in the books. We are recording this before the Browns and Jets game on Monday Night Football because really, who cares about either of those franchises?
Hey, somebody won.
Yeah,
that's it. Way to go, Jabils.
Yeah,
Jabrowski's, whoever wins today.
Or actually, there could be a tie. There could be a tie.
I just don't. You know what? The best thing the Browns are producing this season is the Baker Mayfield commercials because they're actually pretty good.
That is true. He's better. He's better as a commercial star than he is as a football player right now.
Yes.
Sophomore slump is strong with that one. But,
so far, well, he could get out of it tonight. We'll see. I mean, look, the 49ers are undefeated.
That's right. The 49ers are undefeated. The Bills are undefeated.
We'll get into it.
Yes, we'll get into it. But first, we'll get into our geek stuff. It's a big week for video games last week. Gears 5. They dropped the of war part, even though that's really what the series is. But Gears 5 dropped.
You can't be too careful today, Ray, because video games cause violence. And if you take the word war out, it's good. Whew.
Yeah, it's all better
Dodge
now.
that bullet. No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so Gears 5 came out. Borderlands 3 came out. 2 very highly anticipated sequels. I have Gears 5. I will get Borderlands 3 later. I have not had a chance to play either of them yet, though, or at least very much, unfortunately, because I've been playing a lot of hockey. Not unfortunately. I mean, I'm happy to be playing NHL 20, another big game that came out. But I will be getting into Gears finally, probably later today. And be sure to stay tuned. Obviously, if you've been watching the Geeks Who Like Sports Facebook group, you've been seeing a lot of the NHL 20 videos that we've been putting out, or Lee's other fantastic endeavor, We Live Hockey. So definitely,
my fans love you, Ray. We love you. Everybody loves you at We Live Hockey.
I don't get why. I don't get.
You're the gaming professional. You're all they've got. Don't blow it.
Okay, all right. I won't blow it. I'll just keep playing hockey.
Keep nodding with me. Keep nodding with me. If you're watching this, I'm not. There he goes. He's nodding.
Thank you. I love hockey. No, I do love hockey. As Lee knows, I'm a big Ranger fan. So it was good to actually make the Rangers look decent. Actually, something I'll give you a tease for a video that's coming out. My draft champions team was very, very interesting because I had Mario Lemieux playing with Guy Lafleur on a line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty powerful.
That was a lot of fun. Was a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that video coming up in We Live Hockey and Geeks Who Like Sports. But anyway, yes, lots of games, so we want to talk really quickly about great game sequels. Obviously, Gears has had some tremendous sequels over the years. Halo has had tremendous sequels. Borderlands. There's a lot of great games that when you think of sequels that has, a game that has a number in front of it, there's been a great many. But Lee, you just recently discovered a sequel, and we wanted to give you a chance to talk about that, buddy.
Yeah, so here's the deal. You have to understand this out there. My geekdom in the recent past 5 years has been mostly like comic books and movies and just kind of what I see. So I haven't had much time to game as I would have liked to. In fact, as Ray knows, majority of my gaming has gone to Pokemon Go over the past few years. But look, I've got 2 kids. They're young. All right, yes. I've got all these things I do. Coming by enough time to really dive into a game It's just seldom right now, okay? And as my kids get older, I'm hoping to do that more and more. So I had a friend here visiting from England. His name is Jordan, and he's a big gamer. He actually is involved in designing. That's what he wants to do, design games. He's graduating from university to do that. And he was downstairs playing Fallout 4. So I asked him, like, hey, just tell me the storyline behind this. Holy hell! My God, he told me. I was like, again, okay. So spoiler alert, if somehow it's been 3 years, whatever, you know what, you deserve to be spoiled if you don't know. So like, he's like, yeah, so, it's right when the nuclear bombs go off, which I kind of know a little bit about Fallout. It comes,
right.
2076, right? There's nuclear fallout, right? If I'm not mistaken on that.
Right.
Okay, and like the game starts and like, you're running in your home and you got to get to the shelter and the bomb goes off right when you're going down. And then he proceeds, like I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. Fallout, right? There's a nuclear fallout. It'd be some kind of game. Then it's like, yeah, then they kill your wife. They steal your baby. You wake up. You don't know it yet, but your baby is older than you and the bad guy and he's dying of cancer. And I was like, so my mind goes through like lots of different places. One, I'm a dad. So I immediately go like, what would happen if my son killed my wife and took my baby? And that was like way too dark, way too fast. So I just kind of dismissed that. Like, this is just a video game that wouldn't happen, hopefully, right? Then I got into the story, and I was like, so you're going around the wastelands, and you got to find this. And he goes, but Lee, you have a choice. You can kill your son, the old guy with cancer, or destroy the other faction. And I was like, what'd you do? He goes, I kill my son every time. I was like, what? You do what? He's like, I kill him every time. He says, if you play it perfectly, there is a way to get them both to be friendly with each other. But I was like, it's like getting friendship in Mortal Kombat. What's the point of playing the game if you're getting them? If you want to be a diplomat, there's other games you can play like Tetris, because you shouldn't play games if you want to be a diplomat, right? But I was just like, and then I started asking, like, well, what were the other Fallout games about? And I was like, he's like, well, I was like, what? Who writes these things? Who goes home at night and dreams up like? So then his son is older, and you have to kill your son. They shoot your wife right in the head, and then you wake up, you see your wife. I was mortified by it, and at the same time, I was also like, this is awesome. This is storyline. And then it reminded me when we were at PAX, and you're like, your point. I can't remember the game. What's that big game coming out? No one knows anything about. With all the actors and stuff. It was closed off, and like the babies are fuel.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, so Ray's telling me at PAX like, yeah, so it's a pretty simple premise. They use babies for time travel, and they fuel time travel. And Norman Reedus is in it. And I'm like, who writes this stuff? It's fantastic. like it's one of those things like I'm a writer. I write mostly nonfiction stuff, but like I'm listening to this stuff like this is like you got to go to a dark place to come up with some of these things. You know what I mean? Like I thought writing the Joker was tough. This is beyond that. And then I start wondering things like, do these people have kids? Is this their actual fears? Did somebody think this was going to happen? I mean, dude, it goes on and on and on. Like, again, you think about like GTA, right? GTA stories are like, oh, it's a real world crime scene. We'll do the 80s in Miami and we'll make it like Miami Vice. Makes sense. Oh, we'll do 4 and 5. It's just be in real world cities, inner cities. Oh, okay, cool. Here's a real scenario. Yeah, then we're going to take your baby and shoot your wife and it's going to be the future. What? And Ray, as you know, people love this game. They love this game.
Fallout 4 was terrific.
Yeah, and still online, correct? Like people still playing it.
Fallout 4 is still very popular. Fallout 76, which is the sequel, got completely revamped, more of an MMO style game.
Yeah,
a lot of people have been coming back to that since Bethesda's fixed a lot of the issues with Fallout 76. But yeah, it's a world that everybody loves. I mean, the games are terrific, and I'm a big fan.
Ray, I'm just saying this. When I dealt with time travel in games, there were 3 games that came to my mind, right? Prince of Persia, all right?
Yep.
Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and several other reincarnations, and Back to the Future for the NES. Okay? And maybe a little bit of Max Payne, but that's not really time travel, okay? And in none of those games do they take your child, kill your wife, and bring you to the future. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's you have to get your mom back from Biff. You've seen the movie. You know how that plays out. Sands of Time was a great game, okay? And I don't ever remember in Hyrule having to do anything like that. In fact, your girlfriend becomes a hero, and, you follow her around, and you didn't know it was her if you were dumb, but it is now. And her name, what was her name in that? What was Zelda's name in that?
It was Sheik when she dressed up as Sheik, yeah.
By the way, totally taking a right turn here. Best cosplay I saw at PAX was this woman in a fairy costume with a sign that said, "Hey, listen."
Yes,
she was
yes,
Navi.
yeah.
Brilliant, whoever you are. I know you're not listening, but I want you to know I appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm just having so much fun because you're starting to catch up. Like for me, this is this is normal, right? Like it's like cool. So tomorrow
there's nothing normal about it. There's nothing normal about that storyline.
Tomorrow I'm tomorrow I'm going time traveling. I mean, dude, you should play the game Control that just came out.
You
want to talk
that.
about, I'm not going to spoil that because that literally did just come out. But right now, Control is my game of the year.
But do I have time to play this? That's the real
it went past Fire Emblem. It's surpassed Fire Emblem. But I mean, you want to talk about an effed up storyline? Play Control.
How long will it take to play? That's the question. Do I have time to actually play this game?
10 hours. You could beat the whole thing in 10 hours.
Oh, that's perfect. That's something I could do.
Yeah, you can beat it in 10 hours. Yeah, you can get it.
Or
It's
10
on
days.
Xbox One and PS4 and PC. You can trust me, get Control. You would love it. You get superpowers. You can fly. You get telekinesis.
Wait, so it's like real life?
Sort of.
Shh, don't tell anybody about my superpowers, Ray. Listen, Ray, I do want to take another right turn. I will have everyone on this podcast know that about 6 weeks ago, I was a level 19 Pokemon trainer, and I am now a 25 level Pokemon trainer. I have done several raids, and I have won them all, except for one. I won't lie, okay? And I am growing in the ranks of Pokemon. In fact, in my town, none of the other players who might be below 15 years of age can defeat me and my son. Okay, hey, here's a funny conversation for you. Ray and I had this conversation the other day. So I'm having a hard time with Pokemon Go, and if you don't play Pokemon Go, give me a break. I love it. It's fun. Okay, people still play it. A lot of people play it.
It's great. I play it a lot. Too.
It's great. It's very innovative, and outside Harry Potter, there's really no other game like it yet. So I'm having this conversation with Ray. And I'm telling him, it's tough to find people. Like, there's never anybody at the raids I go to. It's just kind of me and Logan, which is great because it's time with my kid. But I wouldn't mind doing some of these raids because I can't defeat someone with 50,000 combat power if I don't have anybody. And Ray's like, just go online, you'll find some people. I'm like, Ray, I don't think you get it. A 35-year-old man showing up with a bunch of middle schoolers and high schoolers to do these raids is not the image I'm really looking for. Not to mention the way the parents are going to look at me if they're even there. Yeah. Not what I'm going for. I'm not going to try and describe that to my wife. What were you doing today? There was a raid down at the Starbucks. And Johnny, who's Johnny? He's in 7th grade. Okay, he wants to be an architect. He's a nice kid. Okay, what were you doing there? Janet, if I don't get these Pokemon, Logan's going to come home from school and be... It just doesn't sound right in any of it, okay? So, I got to figure this out. Now, Ray says, there's probably some other adults playing, maybe in the city, but I'm in the burbs. Okay, and the cops are really, really good here, Ray. They're really on top of their stuff, and I really don't want that thing of grown 35. Have you seen this man? Saying he's a Pokemon trainer, but I'm like, I am a Pokemon trainer. It doesn't end well. However you slice it. So Logan and I will just continue to take on the Pokemon world. We have taken over the local gyms at least 30 times. Okay, yeah, come at me, guys. All right, and we're learning every day. But level 19 to level 25 in 6 weeks, it's an accomplishment. I'm feeling proud of myself, and yes.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. I was waiting. You could have stopped me at any point by just saying that.
I'm looking forward
Ray
to
is, of course, so what? You're 34?
I'm 36. My level's 36.
36. So wow. So you got 2 million points. Jeez.
Yeah, close to the level cap, but still quite a ways to go.
Oh, last update, real quick.
Yes.
Going to a zoo and using a lucky egg, excellent tactic.
Yes.
Just want to put that out there.
I actually did that in Australia. I went to Taronga Zoo in Australia, and did the same exact thing. And
everywhere.
That's where I got my Chadots and all the other stuff. It was very, very good.
Right. I'll find those one day.
Yes. But yes, Pokemon Go. Actually, I'm looking forward. Next episode, quick programming note. Next episode, we'll be recording together again because I will be in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's right. You will be in my end of the woods.
Yes.
How exciting. Philadelphia. It's not Seattle, but it is Philadelphia, which means we should probably remain really safe because there's a lot of violence in the city. So, we'll just stay indoors most of the time. That's not true. I love my city. My city is very safe. We'll go to the city. Get you a cheesesteak.
Yes.
Do it right.
Yes.
All right, I'll get you a nice cheesesteak. Okay, we'll get some soft pretzels, some water ice.
Some water ice.
Yeah, no subs. You get a hoagie. All right, no wedges. You're in my world.
And then I can beat you 7 times in Pokemon Go, like I did at the end of PAX, so that this way I can advance in
don't
the Jirachi
poke the
quest.
bear. Don't poke the bear, Ray.
Dude, my party time Pikachu, excuse me, party time Raichu is not to be messed with.
See, this is the point of the podcast where people go, you guys are such nerds. Exactly!
Yes!
Exactly
Yes,
we are.
Pikachu
That's
likes
exactly
sports.
what we are.
Yes.
And bring it on.
Yes.
See, Ray doesn't know that I have a secret weapon, okay? He's going, oh, I'm going to beat you. And then I'm going to give the phone to Logan. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to give the phone to my daughter. And Ray will not be able to defeat my daughter because she will defeat him. She's going to go, Uncle Bay? Pokemon? Done. I have the secret weapon. I have the secret weapon, Ray. I have the Pokemon you don't have. Children.
That's right.
Logan, I choose you.
The problem is, Lee, is I have no heart.
Oh, no. You will when Logan goes, I want to be the very best. The best. And then, you teach me and I'll teach you. And then Ray will be like, you're going to lose a Pokemon.
Yeah. The only way to get good, Logan, is to lose a lot to me.
We're going to see how this plays out because, my daughter can talk. And she's, we're going to see, Ray. We're going to see. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, I won't be looking. And I'm here looking, I did it. Did what? Nothing. Didn't do anything. Seriously, actually, we'll have to record something with you going out with me and Logan playing Pokemon. He really loves it. He really does love it. He knows more about it than I do. It freaks me out.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is that video games make you smarter than your children, or your children make you smarter. Video games make your children smarter than you. That's what I'm saying.
This is how I justify it because he knows evolution. He really knows stuff I don't know. Like I've evolved stuff and he knows what they're gonna be. Because he watches the show sometimes, and I'm like, how does he remember this? And then I remembered that I don't have enough bandwidth or capacity to. All he's got to remember right now are letters, numbers, how to flush the toilet, and his Pokemon. That's pretty good. I bet you I could remember a lot of Pokemon too if I didn't have any other worldly responsibilities. Okay?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's true. I was able to remember all of the original first generation Pokemon because I was like 12 when that came out, and it's like, what do you have to do when you're 12? I mean, obviously a little bit more than when you're 5. But yeah, it doesn't just catch them all, and it's definitely
Raichu, Leechu, look at you, gotta get them all. I can't even do that song. That song's
actually, it's a very old song. Speaking of the cartoon, though, we should mention.
Oh yes. Ash Ketchum, 20 years later.
22 years later has finally become a Pokemon champion. He is the champion of the Alolan League, the first actually recognized Pokemon League championship in the cartoon, because the Orange Island stuff doesn't count because that was exclusive to the cartoon. And people are going nuts because finally the eternally 10 years old Ash Ketchum is now a Pokemon master. So now the question, Lee, is what do they do from here? He's done it. He's become the very best.
Well, the only 10-year-old older than him perpetually is Bart Simpson. So you might have to bring Bart in because he's like 30-something.
Yeah.
No, seriously, 22 years. He either really sucks or time passes in that universe totally differently than I'm understanding. But no, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because, I mean, where do they go from here? I mean, do they make him the bad guy? Probably not. All right, do they introduce new characters? Probably not. I mean, that just probably keep going, or what they'll do is they'll do something where the whole new generation of new Pokemon come in, and you want them to get real geeky. What they won't do is render your force powers useless, and then bring in an enemy called the Yuuzhan Vong from another freaking planet, another solar system, and then just take the force out of Star Wars, which makes no sense, Ray. It made no sense then. I'm glad they killed that storyline. I know you probably read them all. It was dumb. The Force needs to be in Star Wars. That is a totally different topic. ADD, back to Pokemon. Sorry.
We all agree in the expanded universe the Vong was a terrible storyline. We all agree on that. For me, the expanded universe ends when Luke marries Mara Jade, and that's it, because that's the last story before the Vong appear.
Yes,
anyway.
She doesn't die.
Right. So
Chewbacca's alive. I'm sorry. I got to stop. Chewbacca's alive. Stop. That's it. No moon fell on him. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, no moon fell on Chewbacca. Oh God, that was terrible. That was so terrible.
Bastards killed off Chewbacca, and then they killed off R2. What the hell is wrong with these people?
They ran out of ideas.
I just want to make a quick show note. JJ Watt, you better fix this. We are approaching Star Wars season.
Did you say JJ Watt?
Sorry, my mind was on football. J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
and J.J. Watt. Again, listen.
Houston Texans defensive end J.J. Watt.
Yeah, this is what I love about this show. It works.
It works. It does
totally works for the show. Listen, J.J. Abrams and J.J. Watt, if you had any influence on Star Wars, I need to leave that theater feeling warm and back in my Star Warsdom and not confused and not like I've only watched The Last Jedi twice and it's tough to get through each time. I need it back. I need that. I need Mandalorian, and I need the Obi-Wan show to bring Star Wars back. For those of you who listen, you know that is my primary franchise. If I had to pick, I am a Star Wars guy first. It's just the way it is. Ray has his things. I've got my things. Okay? Please, for the love of the Force, please bring my Star Wars back. I need you now more than ever. My son is 5. I have to introduce this to him soon. Okay? And my daughter will be there one day as well. And it must be done correctly.
Yes. Just to summarize the Pokemon thing, there is a new generation coming out later this year for the Switch. So that will be a perfect time. Then for Ash will travel to England, and we'll take on the next league there.
So it will continue.
Speaking of J.J. Watt,
I handed you that one.
It is time to move on to football. We've squeezed, I think, as much blood from this Geek Stone this week as possible.
It was a good segment.
We did pretty good. Yeah. There wasn't a ton of geek news this week, but we did pretty good.
Texans won. The Texans beat the Jags. There you go.
The Texans beat the Jags in an ugly game. A lot of ugly games yesterday. The Cowboys beat beat Washington. Philadelphia choked at the end against
barely
Atlanta.
Lost. It choked in the early part of the game, but that's fair.
I will say this because the Giants did a lot yesterday too, and I'll talk a lot about the Giants in a bit.
Well, I can't wait to talk about the Giants.
Yeah, but Zach Ertz is a tremendous tight end. You got to know where the sticks are. You got to get past the sticks on that last play. I mean, that's it. You got to know where the sticks are. You got to be
whoa. You don't get to rant about my team. I get to rant about my team. We'll focus on your team. I'll focus on my team. Okay. And then we'll come back to it. But in the rest of the NFL, the big news yesterday, obviously, is the loss of two of the greatest quarterbacks, really, of the last decade. Drew Brees out for, I believe, 8 weeks. Minimum with a broken thumb. It sounds like he's getting surgery on his thumb, and then also Ben Roethlisberger out for the season for kind of an undisclosed elbow injury, which probably means he ripped his elbow or threw it out.
People are speculating he needs Tommy John surgery, which at 37 years old probably means his career is actually
could be
over.
Career. So Roethlisberger may have seen the last of him. As devastating for Pittsburgh, depending on, I guess, their backup situation. And then it's also devastating for New Orleans, who have not been given the greatest football journey over the last 6 months. Odds are that season's over for them as well. Obviously, as an Eagles fan, I've seen weirder things happen. This also adds to Nick Foles being out for another 7 weeks with Jacksonville, so their hopes are gone as well. Which is, well, I shouldn't say that. Nick Foles will probably come back and win every single game. But who knows? I mean, and then yesterday also in the Eagles game, a flurry of kind of questionable injuries with Deshaun Jackson, Jeffrey, Peters, even Wentz at one point. I mean, dangerous. We were out of receivers. I mean, so again, when we talk about the Eagles, I mean, that's really, in my opinion, that's really the reason we lost. Granted, a player here though. But Ray, do you want to talk about any other? The one game I do want to talk about. So the Cowboys soundly beat the Redskins, as they should. And now we have to hear from Cowboys fans. Oh, number 1 division, week 2. Oh, my God. Cowboys fans, shut up. Shut up. Please
2 weeks
shut up.
into the season. The Bills are in first place, too.
The Bills, right? Yeah, and the 49ers for that, Was it Mel Kirk was the 49ers fan? When we were
Mel Kirk.
Mel, he predicted them to have 4 wins. You're halfway
there, Mel.
All right, the Chiefs handed the Raiders a loss, which we knew was going to happen. But the
Raiders actually hung around in that game longer than I thought they would. If you take they were up 10-0 at one point, and then the Chiefs' offense exploded at the end of the first half. If the Chiefs, I mean,
they woke up.
The Raiders might actually be like 500 this year.
Yeah, well, look, the Raiders have an identity. Again, I think Gruden's going to do that. But the team that doesn't have an identity, the team that did not find a game yesterday, was the Miami Dolphins, who are very much looking like they're going to go 0-16, as you said last week, losing 43-0 to the New England Patriots with Antonio Brown. It was tough to even watch him on the highlights because he's so happy now. And it's just like, this is not how it should be. But the Patriots really looking strong as ever. And this is the sad part. They got stronger as the game went on. 30 points in the second half.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's because I mean, and this is Miami's fault. Ryan Fitzpatrick is done. He threw 2 pick sixes. That's the reason why.
You mean Fitzmagic?
Yeah. No, there's no Fitzmagic left.
Oh my!
Put in Josh Rosen. Put in the backup. I mean, the kid who started in Arizona. Give the kid some reps. There is no Fitzmagic left. He is a pick six machine. Like, if you actually want to be competitive, unless you are actually tanking the season, which honestly that's what everybody thinks you're doing anyway with the moves you're making, then you leave Fitzpatrick in. But otherwise, I think you if you actually do want to be competitive, I think you got to bench him. Because it's a shame because he gave New England 2 touchdowns, which obviously they didn't need, and Antonio Brown 4 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. It just, I
do want to also note one major performance of note. Mahomes yesterday with 4 touchdown passes in 1 quarter. I don't know if there's a record for that, but that's pretty nuts. They had 28 points in the second quarter, 4 touchdown passes by Mahomes. I mean, that guy really is starting to become now like the guy. I mean, that we're looking at. He's the future of the league. I can't believe he wouldn't be at this point, along with Carson Wentz. Now, Ray, listen, we're going to do this again. Okay? Yesterday in New York, the Giants took on the Bills, and there were a lot of excited Giants fans before that game. You were not one of them because you knew what was going to happen. So, Ray, once again, wait. I have brought a bowl of chips today, Ray. These are like the ones with the lime. You know, they got a little hint of lime. Really good. I'm going to put my microphone on mute, and I'm going to let you do your recap. Just wait. Let me put it on mute first. Ray, give me your recap of the Bills and Giants game. Go.
All right. Well, first off, I need to set the mood. I guess I need to set the setting. Is that I tortured myself by surrounding myself with Bills fans yesterday. I went to a party and I was told that there were going to be more Giants fans there. But guess who was the only Giants fan? First off, how do you find 5 Bills fans in L.A.? I can't believe there's that many Buffalo people out here. But they were. I was very nice. I brought donuts because it was a morning game out here. The game starts at 10 a.m. I brought Dunkin' Donuts. I was like, oh, look at this. And I was all excited. And I saw the game, and I'm like, oh, my God. The same thing is happening as last week. It's the exact same thing. I can see it happening. We come out. The first drive. Hand off to Saquon. Eli did not throw the ball until the second drive, which, by the way, Eli started 9 for 19. That's Cam Newton numbers. I was expecting Eli to come out with some kind of weird, shawl over his head in the press conference, just like Cam Newton, because that's how Eli played. Oh, my God, how do you start 9 for 19? The Bills' defense is good, but it ain't that good. Oh, but then, of course, all our receivers. We have no receivers. Everybody's dropping the ball. That's the Benny Fowler, the third. Oh, my arm hurts. I dropped the ball because somebody hit me in the arm. What do you mean? It's football! It wasn't helmet to helmet or anything, which did happen later in the game, and so we obviously, Cody Latimer, we hope he passes his concussion protocol. But it's like, come on! You gotta hold on to the ball! And again, I don't know why. Why are we not giving the ball to Saquon Barkley? The guy averages 7 yards a carry! Why? What are you doing to me? Come on!
Oh my God. We are gonna rename this show Eagles fans who like Giants fans. Ray.
And I didn't even get started on our defense. The defense, what are you doing? And I will say this, the defensive line at least got pressure on Allen this week and had some sacks, something we couldn't do in Dallas. But how do you... There were so many passes, so many guys wide open. And again, Cole Beasley. How are we letting Cole Beasley beat our defense? I don't understand. How does nobody cover this guy? Wow. So, yeah, the Giants lost 28-14.
to the Bills.
To the Bills. Buffalo Bills.
So, Ray, what you're saying is that they didn't play a great game. They're not well coached.
No, they're not.
And that once again, you deserve this. You deserve all of this. I will say the best play in that game. I actually called you. You didn't pick up, but the best play in that game for the Giants was on a punt where one of your players jumped into the Bills' end zone to throw it back to the 1 yard line. That was the best play of the game for the Giants.
Yes. Oh, and even speaking of punts, Lee, their punter at the end, in the second half, towards the end of the second quarter, they punted 63 yards. Our guy returns it 60 yards. We have great field position. You know what Eli does in the very next play? He throws an interception. How do you do this? Eli had 4 balls batted at the line. How do you keep throwing it to the other goddamn team?
Ray, do you have neighbors, Ray?
Yeah, they're probably not happy with me right now. I think people are concerned.
You're not happy with the Giants, so they don't have a right. But so you went to a party and you were the only Giants fan at the party.
I was the only Giants fan there.
They found Bills fans in Los Angeles.
There was 5 Bills fans there, and I was told there was going to be other Giants fans there. It was 5.
Do you know the
Bills have a song, Lee? It's not as good as the Eagles song, I'll say that much. But do you know the Bills have a song that I had to hear every time they scored a goddamn touchdown?
What's the song, Ray? Go ahead. Someone who's singing now.
It's a spoof on Shout. Or whatever. It's like, when the Bills score a touchdown, everybody shout. And the Bills score, they shout. Here we go now and shout. Here we go, Bills, and shout. I had to hear this all day long.
Oh my. You know what the Bills don't have, though?
Championships?
That's right. Well, they've got several conference championship losses.
Yes, they have several conference championships and 4 Super Bowl losses. Yes, wow. That was my sole, my single solitary thing that I could always say to them was like, well, you have 4 Super Bowl losses, I have 4 Super Bowl wins.
Like every New Yorker. Well, we have this many wins. Great. Well, that's the one.
Yes, well, it was all I had, Lee. It was a very hostile environment for me.
Ray.
Yes.
You won 2 Super Bowls. Now you got to pay the price. This is how it is. Drink your water up because
this isn't what happens. When is New England going to pay the price?
Listen. The rest of us live in reality. Okay, we don't live in New York reality where it was godlike for 50 freaking years. Okay, when is New England? New England loses half the time. New England loses half the time when they go to the Super Bowl. They just win the other half. It's been 19 years in a row. Okay, Ray, is it my turn to rant about the Eagles game yet?
Sure.
Is it my turn to rant?
You want to rant? You can rant.
As a coach, we have to talk about the Eagles game, okay? Because the Eagles fell to the Falcons last night. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to warm up. Ready? Yeah, we had a lot of injuries. That's why we lost. It was a good game. Falcons won. They deserved it. We didn't play well enough to win. That's it. Done. Yeah. Hey, we won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Did you see? I have the Kelsey speech on my wall here. You want to see it? Want me to read it to you? I can read it to you. Philadelphia! If you love the Philadelphia Eagles, give me a hell yeah! Oh, it's okay. I'll spare you, Ray. I'll spare you.
Thanks, Lee. Thank you.
But no, listen. Really boring game. First half of the game really picked up in the second half. Really, Eagles, like their entire receiving core was injured. Wentz did not look himself. Tough game to lose, but I mean, both teams were hitting really hard last night. It was actually a pretty hard-nosed football game. But like when your whole receiving core is injured, you're just not gonna win the game. And they had the chance. I mean, I'm kind of happy they kind of fought back. It was just a bit too short. The Falcons got that touchdown late on a great play. And then, like I said, we were 1 yard short of a, not even a yard, inches short of a first down to keep the game going on 4th down. But look, they fought. It wasn't a gimme in any way. But one thing that came up in that game, I do want to talk about, Ray. I'm not being funny right now, is the amount of stoppages due to reviews and just I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean, there was a play on a 2-point conversion that, like, and follow me here because I'm not trying to be like biased here, but like Wentz was going for the end zone, he got in, but his knee touched the ground right before he got in, so they said the 2-point conversion was out. And the way the rule was written now is that like it was just something like about the intent, and I'm thinking to myself, like, look, if a guy runs and dives, this means if he dove 3 inches later, he would have gotten it. All right, now it would not have changed the outcome of the game. It would just been a 2-point game instead of a 4-point game. But it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with these calls and these rules? And it's too much. Even Collinsworth was getting like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're starting to question the rules. So, like, where's the NFL going? Like, and here's the thing. It's kind of opening the door for the XFL. I mean, it's kind of like
I was
telling the XFL
too.
just to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the XFL's already said that their like replays will all come from like the booth above or whatever, and it'll be like 15 seconds or less. The call will be decided like when that happens. Like it's kind of ridiculous. It happened yesterday in the Saints and Rams game. Again, wouldn't have decided the game. The Saints lost by 18, but what would have been a fumble recovery return for a touchdown for the Saints because the ref blew the whistle too early. And that's actually happened a couple times in the Giants. This happened in the Giants game too, actually, where the ref blew the whistle too early on a fumble that the Giants would have recovered, and you don't know what would have happened. It's like, you guys know better. You guys need, like, I get it. You're trying to protect the quarterback. You're trying to protect these guys. But at some point, you just got to let the play happen and just let it unfold and see where it goes. Like
it's too much. Like, this is becoming too much. Like I get the quarterback rules a bit just because of the... it's a throwing league, and they want to protect the quarterback. I'm like some of that, like, you're changing the game, but it's somewhat acceptable. But like what are we doing? Like, every play is being reviewed, and it's just like, look, this is like the opposite argument of like having like a strike zone that's computerized, because baseball's kind of based on perfection. Baseball's kind of based on there's a right play, and like the strike zone is the strike zone. The strike zone. Again, you can feel free to disagree with me this if you're listening, but I don't like that the strike zone changes, like depending on the umpire.
Yes.
I think that's ridiculous. Okay,
yeah, it's the same thing like in football. Like when the ball breaks the goal line, that's it. That's a touchdown. Like in baseball, if the ball crosses the plate between the knees and the belt, it's a strike. This should not change ever.
But here's the thing: some of these catch rules or the pass interference rules, it's like common sense could decide some of these things. Like, dude, if the guy caught the ball and he's falling, and the ball doesn't come out, it's a catch. Yeah. Like, does he have possession? He caught the ball. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, and we've seen that come back to bite every team at some point. The guys are kind of bobbling the ball when he goes down. Like, if it's in his arms when he comes down, that's a catch, man. Like, this is stupid, right? Yeah. Now, again, if his knee is down or something like that, if it's an incomplete pass, it's an incomplete pass. But it's I don't know. Some of these things I'm just like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I watching? And then the NFL's already on super thin ice, pun intended, with what happened last year in New Orleans. I mean, I still don't. Someone was paid off. It's just like, I still don't understand that.
I just don't I don't understand how these refs are allowed to have their jobs. I don't understand how a lot of this stuff. I mean, at least I guess the good thing is that yes, now pass interference can be reviewed, but at the same time, and I think there were 6 league-wide reviews yesterday, and 3 of them were overturned, or 3 of them were changed to pass interference, and it's just like, but it's like, come on, you guys need to be better. Get more refs on the field. I don't know, like you need to figure something else out, because I'm tired of as the one Saints player said, I'm tired of Foot Locker. I mean, the refs taking control of the games. Like,
yeah, it's stupid. Here's the thing. I mean, look, you and I will both admit that officiating at the top level is very hard. Like, we're not denying that, but it's hard for a reason, and you need to have the very best. I mean, I don't know what the solution is for the NFL. I mean, I've never been against having like an NFL official of some sort assigned to every game, like a different official to every game, and this goes for every sport, NHL, NBA, whatever you want. That their job is to watch the game. And if a call is missed, they just call down to the ref and say, look, this call was missed. This is pass interference or something like that. It's just taken care of. You know what I mean? And the thing is, they don't want to give that authority to anybody because it's too much power. But at the same time, it's like it's just got to be the obvious stuff. And they would make the argument, well, it's not always so obvious. No, it is. All right, like you know the rule. You have a rules official, and if it got like I said, what happened last year with the Saints, like someone should have called down. No, look, that was a penalty. Okay, you know, like we're deciding the game. That decided that game. You know what I mean? So like
even in the Giants and Bills yesterday, they were holding penalties against both teams that were phantom holding penalties. And the thing is, this a holding penalty typically that's a drive killer. That's a 10-yard penalty. That's a drive killer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of there's too many rules. There's starting to be too many rules now, and like I said, this is going to leave the door wide open for the XFL to come in. Ray, can I take an unorthodox sports turn here that we didn't talk about before the episode, but I do want to talk about?
Sure.
Because Vince McMahon is about to have a very weird two-war front going on, right?
Yes.
So like Vince McMahon's about to have XFL versus NFL, and WWE versus
against AEW.
Yeah. And the thing is this, I think that knowing Vince McMahon, these are both welcome because nothing gets WWE wrestling better than having a competition.
You've seen that in the last couple of months. You've seen storylines with The Fiend and with the women's division and everything. Like things have started to pick up and take an interesting turn again. And even I'm tempted to kind of maybe even go back to like wrestling from what I've heard because like this kind of happens. Like I've gone ebb and flow, right? Like after the Attitude Era, I kind of like and then I came back and then I went and then I came back and now I'm kind of like in that where I haven't watched really wrestling for like a year now. But this feels like where, the competition makes Vince McMahon be better because he's more willing to pull out all the stops.
Well, also, I think it makes everybody better. It makes everybody better. Yeah. Writers are better. Everybody's better.
Yes. Also, he wants to prove something with the fact that SmackDown is now going to be on Fox.
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
big deal. That's a big deal for him to go over to another network like that and to leave NBC Universal because for so long wrestling has been part of USA Network and now he's going to Fox/Disney with SmackDown of all things, and so that's going to be a really interesting thing for him to use as a he wants that obviously to do very, very well.
Yeah. I see. I'm kind of with you. Like I'm interested again. Like my whatever. It's piqued my interest. I haven't really started watching it yet, but then like most of my wrestling. So I was like you. I was huge in the Attitude Era, but that kind of defined our youth at that time. And like most of my wrestling now is just what I see on social media when I'm going through. But I saw that both Austin and the Taker were back in the last couple of weeks. Which one of our listeners, Dan Saunders, made a really good point though. So as much as I love seeing Steve Austin and Undertaker, he makes a really good point. It's like you guys have got to let go of this time period. Like they have their place. And don't get me wrong, they're legends, they're Hall of Famers in the WWE, but like you have to make something stronger than this because you cannot keep relying on these guys coming back like this. And they're going to have their opportunity here to do that. And I hope that they do because like I said, like if my kids ever get into it, I'm sure I'll get back into it. But just a very interesting situation for McMahon where he's got XFL, NFL, and then his wrestling platform is going to have to go up against another one. So I'm kind of excited. And then as as we saw the up, down, down guys. I mean, I'm following them a lot lately too. That's even picking up. Like they have the belt and they're doing stuff too. So really interesting front. But like, look, Vince McMahon, who is a top level executive, like someone else we're going to talk about in a minute, like globally one of the best business people of all time, easily. Right? Took a regional, chump change industry and turned it into a $1 billion monster.
Yeah.
Right? To the point he can buy a football league.
Start his own. It's all league owned.
Make your own.
There's no individual owners like in the NFL. It's WWE Corporation owns XFL, and that's it. And it's like,
and he knows something. So like, it's going to be an interesting. I mean, we'll talk about this moving forward a lot. But
I will say that here's a bold prediction: the New York Guardians will have more wins than the New York Giants.
Great, because we're gonna have to hear you rant about them if they don't win. I could see that. There they are. They're fumbling the ball. Right,
you're an expansion team in an expansion league. You got to be better than this.
Yeah, but Ray, they're all expansion teams.
Shut up, please. No,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Last quick transition. I'll actually let you intro this one. But former Yankee, one of the greatest of all time. Even I will say that, and a current president together this week. Ray, take it away.
So Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer of all time, first unanimous Hall of Famer in Major League Baseball, was at the White House today receiving the National Medal of Freedom, which is the highest honor any citizen of the U.S. can receive. And it was just very weird. I mean, for him to come out with Donald Trump to Enter Sandman from Metallica.
That's President Donald Trump.
Yeah, at the White House. It's just really bizarre, folks. It's just really, really bizarre. Like, I don't know what to think of this.
Well, one thing is we can all agree that Enter Sandman is a great song.
Yes, for sure. I mean, and we try to avoid politics here and everything, and like, I mean,
we are legitimately avoiding it right now by talking how great Metallica is in this song.
Rivera marks the 7th athlete to receive the honor of
Wait! Don't ruin it! Don't ruin it! Okay, you can keep going now.
In the Trump administration, so he's the seventh athlete to receive the honor. It's just interesting. It's weird. Tiger Woods has also received it from Trump. I don't know. I guess because Trump has golf courses, I guess there's a correlation there. I don't know.
Well, listen, you're talking about wealthy people and New Yorkers. So I mean, not Woods, obviously, but look, Rivera was a New Yorker. Trump is a New Yorker. I'm sure there's past history there. And again, it doesn't really matter what you think of either of those two people. It's a great American honor that he deserves. Okay, the president in office doesn't always signify anything to do with the person. You don't have to look down on Mariano Rivera. Great career. Okay, this is a great American honor. We should all feel happy for that. The thought of Donald Trump and him walking out to Enter Sandman, something fitting about it. I don't know how else to say. It's just it kind of makes sense in a weird way. You know what I mean? But we don't think into the politics of it. We can all agree it's a great American honor. Him and Tiger Woods both receiving it. Keep in mind, other former awardees include Ellen under Obama, and I can't remember anybody else. Joe Biden won it under Obama.
That's true. That's true.
Like it's an American honor. We again, literally should always put politics aside and remember that, you and I both love our country very much. It's an American honor. Congratulations, Mariano Rivera. Mariano Rivera, who is one of the only Yankees. No, that's not true. He was one of a few Yankees that is impossible for you not to like unless you lost to him in the World Series multiple times, which is not me.
I was gonna say you only lost to him once. So
shh, Ray, we don't have to. He was not strong at the time. But look, seriously, if you can't respect that guy for what he's done,
he still closed out the games against you.
No, Ray, shut up, Ray, just shut up, okay? I'm trying to help you while you're ahead here. No, listen, he's the greatest of all time. All right, I cannot think outside maybe Nolan Ryan. Okay, I really can't think of and I know that we're talking closers versus pitchers here, but I don't think there's ever been another pitcher in baseball history that when that music played or he came out, it was just you're going to lose the game.
The game was over.
The game was over, and I remember watching the first time he blew a save, and it was hurtful. It was like you knew. Oh man, it's starting. But that's actually a compliment in itself. Like the first time he blew a save, I think I was watching with you. I was watching with somebody, but I remember it was just. It might have been our other friend Ray, but when that happened, I mean, it was shocking. And then, who can forget? I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm replaying when they took him out of that game and he smiled at Jeter and started crying. You know what I mean? I replay that in my head. So talking about one of the greats all time, obviously, as you said, right into the Hall of Fame, deservedly so. And see, Ray, even the Yankees can make you feel better about the Giants sucking this year.
Oh, God, we got to win the World Series this year. We gotta
Shut up, Ray. Just shut up, you jerk.
Anyway. Nothing would make me happier if the Yankees beat the Dodgers in the World Series.
Nothing in the world would make you happier than the Yankees beating the Dodgers in the World Series. That's it. That's all it will take.
I mean, realistically.
There's nothing in the world that would make you happier than that.
I mean, look, I'm just being realistic. I'm not going to get $10 million. $10 million is not going to just appear on my doorstep tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah, it might. Won't
a supermodel that says she wants to marry me is not going to appear on my doorstep tomorrow or in the next month. We'll say in the next month. But the Yankees beating the Dodgers in the World Series, that can happen in the next month. That can actually happen.
Well, Ray, you've just shown your true colors, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Speaking of things that are not going to happen, Ben Roethlisberger is not going to play again this season, possibly ever again, which brings us to our mashup. Do you like that segue? I pulled that one out. All right, so today's mashup is one of my own devise. And again, I like to do mashups where it's like it's not easy to do. Right? So I have a feeling with this one, we're going to actually have to go through franchises and make decisions. But today's mashup is this. What is a player, if you will, on a comic book, movie, geek world, video game, whatever, where if they were to go down, that would be the end of the season, if you will, or the end of the battle for that group. So again, the example I gave earlier, which was not Ray's favorite, but if Batman went down, the Justice League would be okay. If Superman went down, not so much. Okay. Now you could clearly make arguments. You can make arguments because that's what Batman fans do, and I love Batman. But no. Okay. If he went down, they could win a battle without him. Superman, probably not. Okay. Feel free to comment on that one. I'm sure I have plenty of critics that are going to disagree with me on that. And yes, definitely use specific comic book numbers and videos and everything. That's the whole point of this channel. You are allowed to do this here. You will not be trolling me if you go, well, in Batman 79, he brought out kryptonite because Superman asked him to bring out kryptonite, and he has a kryptonite just in case Superman goes insane. And, that's what Justice 2 was based off of, is Superman going insane, and he killed the Joker, and okay, that's fine. You can do that here. Okay? I just did it. Okay? So we go through these things, Bray. First off, does anybody come to the top of your mind with that? And again, you got to really be smart about this because it's like, there's certain heroes that if they went away, you'd honestly probably be okay.
I mean, that's the problem, right? Is like the more I think about this, like especially like a lot of the more popular and bigger superhero teams, you've had a lot of people rotate in and out, especially in the Marvel side, right? Avengers,
absolutely,
X-Men, Wolverine, Cyclops, Captain America, Iron Man, they've all been gone from their respective teams at some point, and the teams do just fine.
They do. They do. Well, except, look, like Superman's a good one. Superman goes away, bad things really start to happen.
I mean, yes, I would say that's the one. I mean, that's the thing, because the Justice League, the core, 5 of the 7 members, right? Green Lantern, Flash, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are always there. Yeah. Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, whoever else you want to throw in as their 6th or 7th. You've had Cyborg in there. You've had different people come into Justice League, but the core, I mean, obviously the Trinity, and I would go as far as say really the core 5. That's when things start to get dicey. Yes. Is if you remove any of them. I mean, because obviously, yes, Superman's a powerhouse, but again, there's so many storylines where Batman knows how to utilize Superman and how to get him to do what he needs him to do in order to succeed. I mean they've got a cosmic being right now in Justice League and on the Scott Snyder run. The
JJ Watt run.
Yeah, the JJ Watt run, exactly. So I mean but again, that all stems from the fact that Batman knew how to utilize Superman to the far.
Okay. Look. I'll throw you a bone here. Okay, like I know how important Batman is to the Justice League. I more was anything than teasing you. Okay, but like it depends on the situation, right? This is what I'll say. Well, I'll actually quantify this. Okay, when it comes to fighting a villain, he's very expendable. But when it comes to protecting the Justice League from themselves, he is not. Right.
Exactly.
So like. That's as far as I'll go. But I've always had a problem with him just being a standard human amongst those gods. But that's my point. Now here's the thing. Let me take you through some other ones because I actually have a team up here where if any one of these members were to go away, the whole thing would fall apart. And you might not agree with me on this, but I think that if you took one of the Ninja Turtles away, outside Venus. If you don't know who Venus is, you're not a real Turtles fan. All right? But if you took one of the Turtles away, I actually don't think they could do it.
You know what? Actually, that's something that's interesting because they're dealing with that in the comics right now. They killed Donatello.
I know.
In the comics.
Which is amazing. And they're not doing so hot.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
It's stupid. But yeah.
But at the same time, it also made Bebop and Rocksteady a credible threat for the first time in their entire history.
Are you trying to tell me that they were not a credible threat in Turtles in Time?
No. Bebop or and Rocksteady?
Were they not in Turtles in Time? What game are they in? They were in the original NES
Turtles,
game.
they were in all the games.
Yeah.
They're not. Come on, dude. They were the easiest bosses in the games. Come on.
Dude, that is the most mad I've actually ever seen you be with me ever. Like, come on, man. Are you serious?
No. Look.
Right now, someone out there is listening to this going, but they were a credible threat in The Secret of the Ooze, and they weren't in that movie because everybody thinks they were, but they weren't.
Toka and Razar, who were created for that movie, and they were really, really terrible and definitely not a credible threat.
Horrendous, horrible. Anyway, I just had to say that because I know someone out there's like, what about that movie? Nope. I
would say the Power. How about the Power Rangers?
Ooh, okay. So if you take away Tommy as the White Ranger that kind of becomes a problem.
But even just for the forming of the Megazords and all of that stuff, like
I think they could be fine without all the Rangers there because I just think so because they go bad and good sometimes. That's my opinion. I mean, like Tommy is the White Ranger is the only one that was strong enough to me that was like, like if he's not around, and then they do fall apart. He keep bringing them back.
Yeah,
he was a White Ranger. Then he was,
congrats to him. He's literally made a career for 20 years out of just being a Power Ranger.
Yeah. Wait, was he the Gold Ranger or was that the original Red Ranger? I mean, like that's they've done that too.
I don't know. He was a Green Ranger, then he was the White Ranger, then he was a Black Ranger, then he was a White Ranger again. Yeah. Then he was an evil Green Ranger combined with the White Ranger, where he had both the powers of Dragon Zord and the White Tiger, which was crazy. Cool. And he was a boss in a recent game too.
God, we are nerds, man. We are the best. This is awesome. High five, digital high five.
Yes, digital high five.
Boom, that happened right there. Darn. Power Rangers is a good one. All right. Here's a throwback. Could any of the Simpsons won that game without each other? Probably not. I mean, you got Marge with the vacuum. You got Bart with the skateboard. Lisa had her saxophone. Homer had what? Donuts?
Homer just had his fists.
Yeah, that's right. The arcade game. Again, another great
Bart and Marge
game.
Were the most OP because they had range. Because Marge with the vacuum and Bart with the skateboard.
That's right.
Lisa had her jump rope, which she.
That's right. I thought you're right. I thought she had a saxophone. I missed that game. One day when we have Geeks Who Like Sports headquarters, we'll have that game along with X-Men and Turtles in Time in a row next to each other.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen. Yeah. Yes. See, the problem with this also is you're talking teams. Like Star Wars is kind of out, and any movie or comic where it's like one or two people is kind of out. I'm trying to think if there's any big other team up universes that I'm forgetting here, but like it's an interesting discussion. Obviously, if you're listening, let us know what you think.
Yes.
But there's a lot of teams out there that if you take one or two people out, it kind of still works. But some of these people are what's the word I'm looking for? Indispensable. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to figure this out. I'm trying to think if there's any other great comic book teams that I'm forgetting right now. I feel like I'm forgetting a major one.
Yeah, geez, Justice League, Avengers, X-Men.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Avengers. Actually, I think that Iron Man and Thor are very expendable. I actually think Cap is the one. If we're talking strictly the Avengers, can't operate without him, which was proven when during Civil War, not the movie, the comic book.
Right.
All right. When Cap, kind of the movie too, but when Cap is not there, things fall apart. In fact, there was a huge scene. I don't think about it, in Endgame where he blames Cap for not being there. So like Cap can't get hurt.
See, right? I disagree. I think you can. Because they've proved it in other iterations that you don't always need. I don't think you always need Cap. Man. I think you can get away with it. I think you can get away without having Cap there.
Maybe once or twice, but the team will fall. It always falls apart when he's not there. The team doesn't always fall apart when Iron Man's not there, right? And then Thor is just kind of like the get out of jail free card. Let's just be honest about that. I'm sorry, it's Captain Marvel now. Yeah, it's Captain Marvel now.
Well, yeah, there's always one character that's just like, oh, we'll just give them a new power, or just throw a Hulk at it. It'll be fine.
Just throw a Hulk at it. Well, here's the thing: they made kind of Avengers movies without Hulk and Thor, and everything kind of fell apart then too. I'm thinking about it. To be fair, I don't know if I can think of anything else right off the top of my head, but let us know what you think. Obviously, if you're listening, who is the superhero that's completely indispensable? You cannot survive without them. And like I said, I wish we could talk about Spider-Man, but it's one guy. I guess you could kind of do like Tobey Maguire versus the other two. We'll have much more Spider-Man talk coming up. We just kind of want to let the dust settle on that and see where that goes.
Yeah.
We got to end the show on this. I did see a really funny one of those face. What's it called when they take the deep fakes? Someone did a great deep fake of Tobey Maguire on Tom Holland, in that movie, and it was really awkward. to watch because you're like, it made sense. It made complete sense. I'm like, what? Bully Maguire. Anyway, Ray, another great episode. Episode 23 is in the books here.
Yes, we are done. Don't forget, folks, email us at geekswholikesports@gmail.com. Geeks Who Like Sports on Facebook. Obviously, listen to us anywhere podcasts are listened to, SoundCloud, iTunes. Do us a favor. Leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Share us. We appreciate all the help you guys do in helping to keep this community going. Shout out to Chules, who let us know he's a Packers fan. Good on you, dude. You're now 2-0. Congrats to you. He also appreciated my Legends of the Hidden Temple joke on my Fire Emblem review, so go listen to that 4-minute offense.
My Eagles will see you on Thursday in a week and a half. Chules, we'll talk then.
Oh, very interesting. We'll go a little deeper on the Packers than we have so far this year. By the way, the Bears have a kicker. In case you didn't know, that was another game yesterday. The Bears have a kicker. So that's big NFL news. But yeah, for Lee, I'm Ray. Thanks for listening to episode 23 of Geeks Who Like Sports. We'll see you guys next time.